Hello, everyone. Welcome to Patriots 3 Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. And here's your host, Tim, our special guest, Alexandra, and our other co-host, Tanya. How are you two doing tonight?
Great. How are you, Tim?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Good.
I'm going to ask for every parent, aunt, uncle, grandparent to share tonight's show. And there's reasons for this. Tonight, we're going to be talking about political kidnapping of children. I want this to get out everywhere as possible. If you have connections to Trump or Robert F. Kennedy Jr., definitely get this out to them, because we're going to be talking about gender dysphoria, child grooming, CPS involvement, and parents losing freedoms and losing their children. So let me give some really quick plugs here. So you'll definitely find this show at Tim Holliday TV. That's TimHolliday TV. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook. Let's see here, Twitch TV, iHeart, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Definitely going to give my friend a shout out, Tally. She's with LearnU.live. So her slogan is Learn You, Live Better. So go to learnu.live. So it's LEARNU, the letter U, .live, and find out more information. All right, so Alexandra, wow, you have a story to tell. And I thought this was like only a California thing, and then I saw you at a hearing over in was it Massachusetts?
What's that?
You were at a hearing over in where was it? Massachusetts?
New Hampshire. New
Hampshire. Which not too far off, because
I flew through Logan, Boston, Logan, such memories.
I know that area very well. I lived in Maine for a couple of years, so I totally understand. Massachusetts had a saying, live free or die. Yeah, but that saying has gone away. New England has just gone a little to the wayside when it comes to things. Wow, it's just something else. I don't even know.
It's something else.
What to say about this. It's very, very disheartening on what's going on. So let's start out with gender dysphoria. That's where children grow up confused. Especially when they reach the certain age of starting to hit puberty. And you got girls, tomboys, as they call them.
Right.
I know knew a lot of tomboys at that time. Heck, my neighbor's little girl, she comes over a lot, but she's pretty much a tomboy as well. She likes her fingernails painted, but she likes to get rough and tough with the boys. There's nothing wrong with that. She's still a girl. She still thinks she's a girl. But the issue is when a girl starts thinking that they're another gender, such as a boy. And then
happens.
We get this thing called child grooming, which a lot of schools are doing, especially in California.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Where it's being taught in schools, that you can be this and you can be that, and it's like this weird euphoric Disney kind of attitude. You can be anything you want, and no, you can't. I wish I had that little clip from Steve Harvey where this little girl, probably a 3-year-old girl, can showing that girls can only be girls because of the hips. The hips actually spread to give birth through the birth canal. And this little 3-year-old girl in a Steve Harvey show was telling that to Steve Harvey. It was great to see that. But that whole confusion. I was talking with one of my friends the other day, and he was talking, saying that his boy wanted to be Batman, his boy wanted to be Spider-Man, his boy. But can he do that? No, he just dresses up for, it goes through these little phases. But there's a phase, and then there's something going too far, which is creating this mental disorder and supporting a mental disorder, otherwise known as gender dysphoria. And this child grooming that's going on in schools is not helping one bit. And so I'm just giving a lot of honest truth here. We see it happening all the time. Even Governor Gavin Newsom's wife has been promoting such it's been terribly disgusting. And right now, I'm kind of glad to say that she is under investigation. I heard that yesterday.
I know, me too.
Politics in the Pulpit.
Yes.
Shout out to Pastor Jerry Cook and Politics of the Pulpit. You can catch that every Wednesday at 2 p.m.
We love Pastor Jerry.
KHTS over in Santa Clarita. Another shameless plug there, but so Alexandra, I titled the show "A Mother's Fight for Her Daughter." Now,
yeah, I'm curious.
You are a legal immigrant from a different country.
Yeah.
And so just imagine you're coming to a different country, and then there's these different laws and regulations and stuff, and you think you came to the land of the free, and everybody everyone goes to California because California dreaming. Yeah. Whoa. That turned into a nightmare for you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you were down where in the Bay Area for a short time?
Let me say good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Our sad story, but it's a good cause, and I do thank you. My husband Andrei, he's also online. He's watching. He might make a couple of sarcastic comments from the shed.
That's all right.
But listen. It's for a good reason. We are on the cross like martyrs.
Yeah.
So let me back off a little bit and thank you for this wonderful opportunity, Tonya and team. God bless you, your hearts and your families, your children, your parents, your ancestors, because we are here for a reason. That two legal immigrants coming from a post-Soviet country in search of brighter future, something that their Soviet Union with 70 years had promised them, with punitive psychiatry, with totalitarian regime, with KGB and KVD, snatching people at night, but those were Stalin times and adults. But the children, were never snatched. I heard these scary stories from my late father. He was a war child. He was born in 1941, and he told me that uncles, gentlemen in dark coats, dark flannel or whatever hats would come at night, and people would disappear. So it was scary, those stories.
That's scary.
I went through Chernobyl, which is a nuclear power plant disaster, catastrophe. You probably know what it is. It's Kiev region. I was a little girl. I was 4.5 when suddenly I was ripped from my, bed, and mama, put me, threw me in a bus, dusted bus. All I remember, trees passing by our windows. We were going into nowhere, and then we were given an apartment. I just want to let you know that on my Substack there is a chapter called "My Home is My Castle." So it talks about the lines and huge queues we stood to get an apartment housing, to get some food, to get some meat, onion, toilet paper. We stood in queues. So it's we got one bedroom for 4 people. My sister, who lives in Russia now, myself, and 2 parents. So that's how we lived, yes. And then collapse of the Soviet Union, 1991, 15 republics became 15 independent states, but it doesn't mean the Klondike of wealth and opportunities. It means that a country, in my case, Ukraine, became a young country, new currency, corruption, the privatization that we didn't know what was going on. And, some families did better, some families did worse. For instance, we did a little better because my parents were teachers in a medical school. I'm second generation linguist and translator. Mama was a history teacher. My husband's family did a little worse, and they had to go out in the street literally to sell their belongings to get by a day or two to get some loaf of bread. So this guy wanted to provide for himself and first of all for his future children, for a home that he would never have in Ukraine. And take a look at the home, Tim. You saw the shed and everything. So,
Yeah.
but that's not the first home. Of course, we would wander like, you know, nomads. We would wander from apartment to apartment. So we landed in Boston area. We went through USCIS process legally. We never broke any laws. We never evaded taxes. I delivered my happy-go-lucky, vivacious, pretty blonde, like yourself, Tonya, blue-eyed, big blue-eyed and blonde, beautiful girl, you know, with long legs, like a probably born model. And she wasn't even a tomboy. Okay, so we're almost there. She wasn't a tomboy. She was a vivacious, hyperactive girl that went into the regular public school in the neck of woods in Massachusetts called Maynard. It never offered any school choice, so that's just basically where she went. And kindergarten was fine. First and second grade, she went through severe bullying, both by children and educators. Educators, teachers.
Yeah. Grown-ups are the worst. I'm telling you.
We tried to figure, why am I given these calls and they say she's the worst, like behaviorally. Then they email me another thing, and then when I meet, they pour me honey potion into my eyes and ears, saying, "Hey, she's the best. She is such a wonderful, bright." And you think, are you a moron or something? But she was, you know, she was an inconvenient, active, hyperactive student, somebody that was pretty much inconvenient. They couldn't handle because they had maybe 30 or 25 other children. And she was, what did she do? She was dancing in the hallways. She was just talking to her friends. Sometimes she would just collide her foreheads with other children. You know, they were SPED, privileged caste. I didn't know about. But listen, instead of just addressing it and saying, hey, parents, let's get her tested. Well, you know, like she's hyper. I mean, we can just accommodate her. I didn't know anything about these alphabetic abbreviations, ADHD, ODD, you know, SPED, 504, IEP. They would just penalize her, you know, and another boy, like kick her out in the hallway, basically, you know, in the vice principal's office. We never saw principal for 2 years. So that's like jittery and what? But one day it became unsafe because another privileged girl attacked her from the back and started choking her on the field trip, like, you know, and instinctively my daughter like was self-defending and she was penalized for that.
She was what?
She was what?
Penalized for that. She was given like a red mark on their, you know, colored chart in their class. And she was so much afraid. They would degrade her. They would publicly shame her many times for being hyperactive, that she did not tell me until the next day she had to go to school. It wasn't safe. And I said, basta, Italian, enough, because that's not the first time. And I was pregnant at that moment with my boy. We were waiting for him for so long. She was so happy to waiting for him, and they're 9 years apart. So we never allowed her to go back to school. We pulled her out. I sent an email. We immediately hired an advocate. We started like a process to go to superintendent, who immediately twisted. Immediately the principal immediately like a mushroom, like out of thin air. They devised like a safety plan overnight. They changed it. They twisted. So it wasn't literally safe for her to return. So she completed, like, she just basically finished her second school year with me on a farm with animals. And I was, you know, carrying my boy. We immediately started defending her. But the corruption got so bad that they immediately set the entire district, community, bus stop, parents, and her friends against us. So we just went through hell. She, you know, like she had so much to be dealing with, like, you know, my pregnancy, you know, a little clump is appearing. Mama, you don't love me anymore. Like the first phrase that she uttered upon being brought from the birthing home, you know, me and my son, and then we literally had to flee from this home to rent another condo because the neighboring richer school district offered school choice. Like we had one elementary, middle, and high school, and the neighboring Acton, it offered like 9 schools. OMG, why did we know, right? So, oh my God, we just love this home, and we thought it was home sweet home. Who knew? I mean, this community doesn't have any Ukrainians. Russians are like a couple of communities away. We just were surviving, you know. Then the Ukrainian first war erupted, like the Crimea. My husband would be drafted. So basically, we were like stuck in our survival. And then she got auto-aggression. She got overwhelmed. That was 9 through 10. We fled from this Maynard to Acton School District, and she went to another school. My son, you know, was being born, and we had to rent just for the sake of bringing her to the bus stop and coming back. Right. Apparently, sooner we found that we were stalked, that resource officers, policemen were following us because superintendents are friends. And of course, this was passed on to the friend of neighboring superintendent. They basically began the same procedure, kicking her out, punishing for standing up, raising your voice against the school icons and gods. So she got kicked out. Her onset of her very early puberty by stress. Her period started like at 10. She got kicked out from the district. They said, oh, you don't actually live. So we're renting for a big money. They followed us and they kicked her from the neighboring school district. And she heard the letter read, and she got homicidal and suicidal. She, as a young girl, blamed my son, me, and was swinging a paper cutter. So it was a nightmare. We thought it was a nightmare in Acton. It's the year of 19. So we fled from one school district to another. She immediately was prescribed Prozac in that hospitalization facility that she was taking to call Terra Vista. It's also team, it's on my Substack. It's called It Always Starts in School. It started in Massachusetts, so that's Massachusetts chapter. I give the detailed version.
Right.
Wow. And they gave her Prozac. It made things worse. She just got so aggressive, out of control. DCF gave us calls. Luckily, they were professionals. They never sent somebody out. They just cleared it up on the phone. They just asked questions why, you know, she was, you know, doing this and that. And then when we saw that the other schools were playing along with her, manipulative, with her probably early showing symptoms of opposition defiant, ADHD, you know, other maybe PTSD, definitely, right? Anxiety. So I had to take the kids. I took, I said to my husband, I need a bubble of fresh air. And his new job required him to travel to Beijing or Vancouver. I said, I just cannot take these resource officers measuring our little condo with their feet. And my little baby is nursing my son. So I took the kids. We went to Ukraine. She was thriving, you know, the language, but she was still a straight, she was always a straight plus student. We found a private school, private, you know, like apartment, but COVID hit, we got locked down and she went on Discord.
Wow. Yeah, these apps, yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we
wanted friends.
Yeah, they bully.
She wanted friends and belong, right?
Right. Everybody does. That's normal.
And it's puberty. It's teenagers transition period, for God's sake. So from that moment, Tony and Timmy did not even sound some suspicious. We didn't hear any words like groomer or indoctrination or, you know, till the CPS came. So that's the year of 20 we're talking about. We are still locked down. Dad is in Massachusetts. and finalizing the sale of the second home, and then he lands a job in San Francisco. He's an IT computer, and it was a remote job in a bank. He's never even went to because the COVID, and we did not decide to give Massachusetts any more chances because the school already shown what they're worth. So we decided to file a private lawsuit. It's called Doe Child versus Deb Holly. It's in hyperlinks in my Massachusetts chapter on my Substack. They dismissed it. The mafia even penalized, I believe, our really great attorney. So he is not even talking to us. And I'm like, what? Can we stop talk as a friend? So I believe that the traces is there. It's horrible. It's the mafia is horrible. So we grabbed a couple of things in Boston area, and we went to Dublin, Bay Area, where it was a temporary transition period. We rented a very, very not cheap townhouse, 3,300 for 3 bedrooms.
Damn, yeah, that's
Expensive area. Yes.
that's high ditch.
2020, right now, 2026, 3,300.
Damn, that's a lot.
Wasn't bad. She was taking walks along, the town, going to Target, grabbing some coffee, opening up, didn't want to do any therapy. She said, like, I want to take a break. I just, she saw the level of the therapy, the school, and she's like, I want to take a break. And she looked, yes, there was aggression. Yes, there was autoaggression. Yes, there was a lot of things that nobody wants to hear about, but, we saw some BPD budding symptoms. BPD is borderline, and it has severe mood swings like bipolar, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
It was very expensive. We just sold the Acton condo, and my husband goes, we are just flushing down the drain our rent, lease money. Why? He went on Zillow, and the picture, the aerial picture of the home and the shed, and we thought that it was a place we could call our own. Finally, we could find some peace because Shasta County, California, Redding, Shasta County, it's a the notorious wildfire area, but it's beautiful, gorgeous Mount Lassen, Mount Shasta, like the landscape picturesque areas. It's like oasis of peace. So we found this home in the rural, and again we cleared out the property before the fire. It made the Sunrise Drive where we lived, where we still have this property. It lost almost all the neighbors, like 4 out of 5 neighbors lost, like leveled. Our home stood, and a couple of scratches, literally a couple of scratches. So we thought we were born with a silver spoon.
Let's rewind a little bit. You were at a hearing over in New Hampshire. Can you before I play this video, can you lead us up to before you went to this hearing?
The hearing in New Hampshire. Okay.
Well, New Hampshire happened like 3 months ago, and everything. I'm not there yet.
Okay. I thought it was a rewind moment. Okay, never mind. So let's continue. Let's go. Okay, so I want to bring up your Substack here. I actually already put the link to your Substack.
I was looking at your Substack today.
Thank
Alexandra.
you.
But so there's allegations of serious emotional abuse. So CPS petitions filed on June 6th of 2024, September 5th of 2024, and February 3rd of 2025. And its version of March 25th of 2025. Wow, that's a lot.
That is
that's much more. There's much more, yes.
Yes.
So the year of after that fire, she was asking the question, why was I bullied? Why? It's natural question, especially for a teenager who is looking for themselves.
Correct.
And she asked to be tested for ADHD. So she's a smart girl. She was online. She was self-testing. And mama's mistake, mama's dad has never said no. And definitely we are in the country where you don't want to be regarded as neglectful and incooperative parents. So especially in California, you kind of heard that there is somewhere this, right? So we went to get her tested. She got confirmed for for PTSD, MDD, like in addition to what she already was tested and confirmed for. So ADHD, ODD, PTSD, BPD,
I've
anxiety
never even heard
disorder,
of some of those
NDD,
things.
All these medical
A bunch.
acronyms. Yeah.
Yeah.
a bunch. Yes, it's all in there in Substack. So,
But
and
none
then
of it is your fault. None of it's your fault, Alexandra. It's just something that happens, right? I mean, these things happen. Kids sometimes because of the bullying, because of whatever. It's not like your fault. You can't blame yourself.
she was trying to find friends, and I didn't blame her. So she, at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, she comes to me and says, Mama, I want to be prescribed lithium for all that negativity, being on edge, for combating my anger splashes, for my inability to deal with you guys and family and social environment. And again, Mama doesn't say no. We were due for a well-child visit in Mercy Family Health Center, which is a clinic where we went for PCP visits, and they say, we have this wonderful Dr. Sager, who is she's amazing. You're gonna love her. She's so liberal, and she's gonna build this magical rapport with your child. So she appeared to be very liberal, loud, emotional. She had no problem prescribing lithium. And you know what? I did want my daughter to finally be happy. And it's a miracle if there is a rapport, right? So I trusted this devil in white gown. There is a separate chapter. It's called this way. And there's Sager's mug. So I trusted her, and March 2023, it's a very critical juncture where 3 points coincide, leading to what you just asked for, Tim. Sager and my daughter start seeing each other one-on-one, meaning I'm out of the office, and my second mistake, I did step out. I didn't want to be regarded as neglectful, uncooperative. I didn't want CPS to come in. Then my daughter, one day, I drive her, March, April, the same time. I drive her to get some boba tea because she was isolating herself for those reasons. And she's as a normal parent, I cared for her. Like, let's get out. Let me get you out at least on weekend. Because she was like, she was doing school online. She was doing like the Discord and all that. Let me get you like shaken up. So we are going to this boba tea, whatever, in Reading. And she goes, Mama, do you know that there is a law in California that a child can be removed from parents if the parents don't affirm their gender identity? A very cold goosebump came down my body. I said, no, baby, I didn't know what's going on. And she says, no, but I'm standing with you guys. That kind of was...
At this point, Alexandra, how old is your daughter at this point?
13 to 14, she started seeing Sager. Tonya, at that time, when they kicked me out of Sager's room, my daughter, I tried, Reading is very rough. It's very xenophobic. Even American residents newcomers coming to the area grumble that it's very hard to find, connections, let alone about people who and this binary thinking, when we got so much hated for helping to Ukraine, and a lot of Americans are so stereotypically driven that they're thinking that if you're supporting Ukraine, your country, then you're liberal. And there's no way I can get people out of this thinking. I hate Zelensky, I hate leftism, and we help not his corruption, but ordinary people on the front line, and we financed 4 or 5 containers. So we just like ordinary people helping ordinary people. So
it's like how I feel about California. I love the people in California. I hate the government and politics in California.
Right.
Same way you feel about Zelensky in the Ukraine. So I totally understand and can relate.
I get you.
I want to tell you something. I hate him. He's ruining my country. He does the same as Biden, but the sauce he serves it under is just a different, like patriotism. Who is the better patriot right now? Who better speaks Ukrainian? It's filthy. Yeah. It's filthy. It's disgusting. So when we, I did try to, and I have proof, and I tried to enter into court that I did try hard to jump out of my skin to find offline friends. It's very hard. I might even
Yeah, it
even drove to NorCal Outreach. People, this is LGBTQ non-profit in Reading. We did do that. We accommodated her. We accommodated our language. We stopped using past tenses in Russian and in Ukrainian because they're highly gendered. Predicates are highly gendered. I stopped using, because if I ask my daughter, did you have breakfast? It's either male or female. Can you imagine how far we went just for her sake to just pass this phase? And it is a phase, it is a phase, because this is puberty. So it didn't work. Reading is very rough. So one day she comes to me saying, well, she was very close to me. She's my girl, and she said, Mama, do you know, I went on a LGBTQ server on Discord, and I got so warmly and cordially received. And I was, okay, so that's 3 things. March, April 2023, Sager and my daughter kicked me out of her office. This law allegedly thing, but there is no law, by the way. My daughter was indoctrinated. There is no law. There is still no law. And then she goes on this LGBTQ server, and she meets Marky Moo. There is a special chapter team who is a Marky Moo, and there is a Discord screenshot on one of the chapters. I talk about all this I'm just talking about. So there's a predator, and I believe Sager coordinated her too. That's just one juncture of the 3 components. And the indoctrination, when she discarded all her female wardrobe, when she started using public bathrooms in Walmart and Target, when her beautiful, this long hair, like your length, Tonya, became Bob, and then Butch, and then she started using a unisex name. We went with this, but the year of 2024 was marked with severe estrangement, and she was already calling herself trans, and she was bullying my son in January 2024. She says, I'm not gonna bully him if he calls me a he.
Wow.
So
which is confusing. He's 9 years younger. Yeah, it's very confusing if he's that much younger, of course. Yeah.
And April, she declined to celebrate, holidays, Christmas and New Year's with us, 2024. She declined, joined dinners and, picnics, and go to Mount Shasta and Lassen to Snow Tube to enjoy some beautiful, crispy, clean snow. And April, a month before removal, she started separating me and my husband by talking us into signing a testosterone consent, different times, different places, different settings. And upon receiving a very wise parental, baby, let's focus on the career, or just getting a driver's license. We had such Napoleonic plans for 2024. I wanted to make posts on Facebook to get her like a volunteer, and then a little bit like a paid job. They had probably other plans with Sager. So June 3rd, she stopped talking to us. She was slamming doors, swearing in front of my son, completely disowning us. And we had I told Sager, because Sager also treated me for my anxiety. I told you everything that happened to us. Of course, it entailed anxiety. Sager tried 5 different psychotropes on me to probably create a vegetable out of me. Sager never confronted me with a playbook mantra. Do you want a living son or a dead daughter? She was so cunning. She was acting through my daughter. She never spoke LGBTQ until the day of removal, and she knew about this the estrangement that our daughter disowned us with. She knew about the shed. What was about the shed? The shed is an ADU, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a pellet stove, AC, yes, microwave, internet, TV. Look, the beautiful deck, the furnished.
I want to live in the shed.
Yeah, heck yeah. Why not? That looks great. Who
She
wouldn't?
was
Come on.
bullying. She was bullying and disowning us so much. We just needed a break, and we said,
Right.
I will drive you to grocery store. I will give you your, by monthly, weekly, bi-weekly allowance. Just stop bullying us. Just get some independence. It's situated, maybe
Right.
20 feet from the home. Sager knew
Yeah.
about it. She still called CPS. So June 3rd. So they filed May 29th. Behind my back, I was sobbing. I felt something going on. I was waiting for her appointment in the lobby. I was sobbing, crying bitterly. A mother knows. My chest was ripping in all directions. So they filed,
Yes.
and then I step in and say, Sager, I have a message from the dead. Please stop talking LGBTQ to her. It's killing our family. And instead of saying
Right.
he was grimacing, she didn't know what to say. She was already filed, and she
Got
said,
scared. Yeah.
I encouraged. So she did not even talk neutrally. She encouraged, and she said she was not gonna do it. She was not gonna stop. She said maybe she just should stop seeing me. I cried.
Oh my-
I left her
This
office.
lady? That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
and June 3rd, a lady 35 through 45 wearing black midi dress comes to my porch with no LE officer, no court paperwork, no badge ID. She hides her car in our rural, pretty long driveway away from our home, like in the foliage of the trees. So she comes a solicitor and
Right.
starts accusing me, and then subsequently my husband, because I took my son, hit in the back, and I had immediate physical reaction. I had a bathroom emergency because I had some postpartum issues, and he did the talking. She just was accusing like a robot, like Gestapo, and running him in circles. And she says, we don't have to have a paperwork. We don't have to have paperwork. She just came, and my daughter went barefoot and joined her in her car, and my husband forced her to call 911. 8 police cars to come came to pick up one single child from 2 horrible emotional abusers. Everything was shot on the camera. They came, they slandered us, and right now it's been 2 years of the crucifixion, of humiliation, with no investigation and prior calls. They kicked us into the CACI, California Child Abuse Index registry. It means that I cannot deliver my 3rd child. I'll be 45, guys. My clockwork is ticking. They will snatch my subsequent baby. My husband won't be able to pass a security clearance test. I am an English teacher and art therapy. You saw my drawings. Probably they're also on the Substack. I cannot work with children because they can't. Because she comes and does this.
Oh my God, this is crazy story. My God.
So do I have one of those images to show the audience on screen? Was to say the child
yes
is at risk of continued emotional abuse by the parents, Alexandra and Andre, due to their inability to support the child in their gender identity exploration, causing emotional harm. Well, wait a minute. So
I like the devil in the white coat thing. I think
Yeah.
the devil in the white coat is more like it, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That doctor. Yeah.
Yeah,
They've
so
done similar stuff all over the country. They've done similar stuff. Very, very
yeah,
much.
so you could find all this information on her Substack. Yeah, I put the link into the chat, and I'll put it in the show description a little later in case it's not on the chat. It's actually underneath her name as well. You can see that there.
The honey badger. Yeah, because I looked it up today. And I was listening to it. Very heart-wrenching, really.
Yeah, lot
very
of good,
disturbing.
A lot of informational videos in there as well.
Yeah, it made me cry, Alexandra, because I was like, kids are just so confused anyways. They don't know what they want to do, and then somebody comes in and is leading them a certain direction and telling them not to like their parents or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just wrong.
I mean, based on their almost hearsay, I want to say almost, because more than likely your daughter.
It is hearsay.
Okay, so based on non-provable abuse,
Right.
Yeah, I'm a mandated child abuse reporter for the state of California. Either I have to see it, or the
Right.
child has to show me a bruise or something to give me probable reason to
Yeah.
report the abuse. So
Right.
based on hearsay, without a warrant, they came in and just took your daughter.
Because she
No
went.
warrant, no
She was waiting for them. She did not even finish packing because they came too soon. Guys, I have a very strong suspicion that probably Nelson, her name is Nelson, you saw her other, chapters dedicated to her lies and all that crap. So she intercepted probably the CLC, which is the center that filed, because Sager, even the intake report says, and our daughter testified that Sager gave her 10 days. Nelson came in 4 days. My daughter was not prepared. So why do we know all that, Marky Moo? Because when we stepped into her unlocked room and unlocked computer, Discord, was running the live instructions by Marky Moo how to better dig a grave for your parents, how to better file this emotional abuse. He is not one single allegedly 16-year-old autistic boy from Kansas. There's more than one person, because sometimes there's swearing and unfinished. I'll be sharing more. We have like 700 shots I took from that. But listen, there's a formed, complete sentenced narrative with a language that 17-year-old will not use. So that I always share this. So there was one sentence where my daughter goes, "What options do I have?" Before Nelson came, and Marky Moo goes, and Marky Moo goes, "Options pertaining to what?"
That doesn't sound like a kid either. Who writes that? Kids don't write like that. They put other stuff, That seems bizarre. So how did they decide that you and your husband were actually abusive? Where did they come up with this whole narrative? Because you have done nothing but try to help her, right?
Well, Tim just shared all allegations. So the core ones is that we won't use the pronouns, we won't go with transitioning, and the rest is just lies. Lies, and look at the shed. I mean, we kicked her out to live in the shed. You saw the shed. Nelson never called priorly. Nelson never showed up to examine the property. She came to take her. She her car. Her car was facing the gate, the exit. She was literally kidnapping her. She kidnapped her, and she went with her because she had been so indoctrinated. I found out I was able to pull out my own CLC records. Of course, they didn't disclose my daughter's records from CLC, right? It's California, 12 plus age. I was able to get a few pages withheld from my own. Sager had been calling my daughter this male name February. I did not know about it. Sager filed May. My daughter was taken June, and upon early officer arrival, I am hearing this name, and it's on camera. I never heard this name before. I testified about it. Judge Bigelow doesn't care. She never cared about anything. They just came to take her. So let me knock you down even more. From that moment, we started to go on cross, on Golgotha. So it's two supervised, two supervisors, like Gestapo-style visitation, never were allowed to be alone one-on-one with her. Lots of slander, lots of libel, dirt, discrimination, judging me by my close smile, which is totally my culturally inherent. Did you see that chapter with a Ukrainian flag where I give a lot of differences between it's Terminator movie Judgment Day chapter where I actually outline a lot of differences, how we react, how we bring up our children, how
there's a comment there's a comment here, and I believe it's from your husband, and the judge Molly A. Bigelow continually uses he him pronouns and the male name, intentionally humiliating you two
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
courtroom. That's terrible.
It's
How
the
the judge
truth.
used, but I mean, the unfortunate thing is it's not the said child's birth gender, and
Right.
the judge should be addressing accordingly to the birth gender.
Can you imagine?
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
2 years of what we have been going through.
I can't imagine.
Hold on to your chairs. Hold on to your chairs, please. We were not supposed to know about it, but luckily, because we knew this family, she went to her classmates' family who are foster care providers. She was roomed and shared bed with her biological male classmate. She, a virgin girl of the age of 15, was almost immediately roomed with her classmate, 15 years of age girl. That's June 3rd, right? Our
Right.
private family insurance claims show that she started to be prescribed birth control in September. So that's a month before her 60th birthday. So that's rape. That's not even legal consent, even in California, Team
Wow.
Tonya.
Right. That's scary. That is very
9 months
scary.
later, 9 months later, she took a pregnancy test. Quest sent me a copay bill with no description of services. I go ahead and call them. They told me that she took a human gonadotropin, which is a human hormone when you want to confirm your pregnancy, and then whatnot. So she's falling apart educational. She's skipping school. She's anemic. She's not provided with the matching conditions. February 3rd, Judge Bigelow removes non-existent allegations of emotional abuse. Ta-da! She's never giving her back to us. She keeps the custody. She delays with our lawyers, who apparently were working on the other side. We paid $500,000 for all that crap. She delays till August. And then meanwhile, domestic violence restraining orders, TROs, emancipation petition with the physical abuse. My daughter testified that there wasn't, are listed, forged signatures. I take my son and I say, it's a wake-up call. I'm fleeing into nowhere. That's August 29th. We put our house on sale. We fire our traitor lawyers. And December, we file pro se, and I go public from Florida.
Right. So she's still in California while you guys are in Florida.
She testified against us. She's completely brainwashed, medicalized. Yes. They played horrible tricks, canceling cold turkey, her heaviest psychotropes. It's all on my Substack. Read about Stockholm syndrome or suborn perjury. So they just overdrugged her to testify, to be a zombie, just to do what they want, to speak what they want. She said, I want to tell you, Tonya, the year of 2023, Tim, when she was still talking to me, she said, Mama, it's my dream to go to Florida to be closer to my friends. And now she says, I so much want to stay with my supports who support me, and I feel safe with them.
Wow.
Okay, she feels safe with them, and she's getting a pregnancy test. So, like, how safe are you really? She's young still, She's very young still, and easily brainwashed. Yeah.
The principal who is actually, I'm gonna knock you down even more. The principal of the Phoenix Charter School that was really harassing and bullying us. She is the his male caregiver. He is a school board member. She is his crony. He sits on his stepson sleeps with my daughter, literally. So she is the principal of the same school is cronies with a school board member. The school district finances the same school. Imagine 5 supervisors of the county. No, we bombard them with our emails. Please investigate the goddamn agency you are oversighting. They're running away. They pretend play. They're like little boys. So the county is a mess. Neither Congressman, Senator Heather Hedwig, Megan Daly, the late Doug LaMalfa, he also ignored me. Reading leadership, they're pretending they don't know us. The school started sending threats like cease and desist in November, and the CLC that filed this report against us, they utilize the same law firm as CPS does. And guess what? The head of the law firm is the wife of one of the county supervisors.
Oh my God, you are having it stacked against you, Alexandra. I swear. And then they label you that way, and you're like, what evidence do you have that I did anything wrong? Nothing. You did nothing wrong, right? They have no evidence of anything. But I think the pregnancy test that she took right after she was taken from the house, that is pretty key. That's key information right there. What's our attorney guy that we use that does all this stuff and then that nobody will take? What's the guy that?
Oh, are you referring to the Pacific Justice Institute?
I think so.
Yeah. So
that they take on those cases
I hope that this gets out to Brad.
Yeah, he's very good, good people.
But yeah,
I think that would be great.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk about that after the show. So we'll be,
that's a good one.
We'll be touching up on that
Alexandra,
after the show. Definitely.
Yeah. Why are we running late, Tim? Is that why you say that?
Yes, we are, and we still have a lot more to cover. But we'll keep on going until, we'll keep going as far as we possibly can.
California is the worst and the hardest to deal with, but there is another movie that had came out recently that was very similar to your story that you're telling me about how once they went to a hospital and the doctor started talking to the child. Like, do you know which I'm thinking of?
But keep going. I might.
Yeah,
keep going.
Same exact thing. Almost the same identical thing that you're saying is what was happening to their child. It was very much the same. And it was a hospital through a hospital. It was a doctor pretending to help, and the doctor wasn't really helping. They were just leading them in a different direction. It was terrible. But we can talk more about that on your Discord too. The Substack, Honey Badger, you guys, Honey Badger, Ukrainian, Substack.com. Got that. There's many, many stories here in California of similar stuff. There's some Facebook groups that have it. I've seen it everywhere. Tons of stuff like that. It's an abuse of power, really. To label you guys a certain way and make you register a certain way, that's ridiculous. You haven't even had any kind of, how do they do that?
I just want to let you know that we completely lost any trust in judicial system, and especially in the kangaroo dependency court. Family court is absolutely, it needs to be audited, reformed. Title 4E, and it's also Follow the Money Trail is on my Substack. I dig deep. I just don't write like frivolously. I use AI a lot, and I try to do, the history discourses in the cult, in the, you probably saw it, and it's just I'm educating myself, and it's so good. So the Title 4E, it's got to be reconsidered, and we were shocked when we saw that Melania Trump and Secretary Kennedy are pushing this Fostering the Future Act. So me and my husband, we came up with this open letter that we presented. I spent entire day working on it. My husband added the numbers. He's a great number guy. And a number, I have an army of angry and really loud parents who read it loud. And Tim has got the link, and I shared it on my Facebook. I shared it on Substack and on my X. So we have got to stop this, I hope, erroneous avenue that she probably doesn't know what she's doing, because she's financing the criminal cartel, and she's financially incentivizing the monster to traffic even more children, because if they can draw and write these allegations that make no sense, they can do the rest. You saw that today and yesterday they were voting for this horrible bill that an LGBTQ congressman on Capitol in Sacramento came up with. I think his or her name, their name is Zbur, and everybody was testifying, including, I believe, Erin Friday and other activists were testifying. It's like the kids now legitimately can divorce their parents. And I urge you to read about it. If you don't have, I'll send you the link. So it's not going well, but Harmeet is into these gay contracts. Harmeet is on to the schools. So I also am trying to flag her about my case and other cases, because you know that Abigail Martinez lost her daughter forever because she threw herself under the train after she was taken by CPS. She was on testosterone, and Abby went literally through what we've been going, and see the lethal outcome that and then there's Elvira Sayed, my dear friend from Connecticut, whose daughter took her life also a year ago. She overdosed on Benadryl. It's in Connecticut. So CPS took her, but that was like a month before she turned 18. So it's a different story. But she lay 4 days in dormitory, lay dead, and nobody cared. I don't want that destiny to my and other daughters and sons. So that's why I'm here, and I don't believe in even in lawyers anymore. All we can do is raise our army of activists and parents like ourselves to probably just make a difference, because what they're financing, it's not okay. It's not going into good direction.
I'm seeing a comment here. Is in the U.S. is a kangaroo dependency court guilty regardless of evidence. Even if you prove you are innocent, you will be punished anyway.
Right. So they have no proof that you guys were abusive or any of those things, and they made you register that way or something. That's ridiculous.
They're punishing us right now for going public. They're bashing and ramming us. So the reason that they had filed, so they did not even allow us to be access to the most two recent court hearings, and we were not even held in contempt or something. So they just want us to shut up. Okay. So the reason they filed is to erase our medical rights. So I don't know if they're preparing her for this sterilization procedure or something else, but we are here and we are not stopping. And there's tons of parents who are shouting silently, because they are in Redding and in California. I have a mom from Sacramento. She is like homeless. Her daughter is being medically killed. The police is retaliating upon her, and she's hiding. Her daughter is growing a beard. They're bringing her sandwich between two policemen, and she's looking into the loophole, and she's not even answering the door, because she knows why they brought her daughter as a hostage, sandwiched between two policemen. So she's not answering the door. They leave, and then she leaves the home and goes to another place. And I'm like, why don't you? Her name I cannot disclose because she asked me not to. She doesn't feel safe. She goes, I feel my daughter needs me. I cannot, and it's such a heartbreaking. I'm just bleeding all over. So we need to make a difference. And even WPATH, even GenSpect, they are not focusing on parents. They are focusing purely on detransitioners. So we've got to make a parental movement.
And the unfortunate thing is like a child, even a teenager, is not of right, sound mind.
They're not.
These procedures and medications are, a lot of them are irreversible. I mean, if a female gets a mastectomy, that's irreversible. They are just gone.
Sterilization, like you said,
sterilization. They actually continue. They have to continue taking these testosterone medications. Because
and painkillers. They're patients for life. They're patients for life. They depend on them. Correct. And then that's their goal, to create an army of dependent patients, or maybe trans shooters, maybe warriors. You're controllable. You can do whatever you want.
They manipulate. They manipulate.
I worked with a lot of podcasters last year with the medical resources,
a lot of them.
A lot of these SSRIs like Prozac and other antidepressants, they can cause suicidal thoughts.
Correct. That's what I was thinking.
The antidepressants. And I'm not giving medical advice. I can't do that. I'm not a doctor, but this is some stuff you can look up and read on your own, audience. These medications are more harmful than good. I completely went
They are.
pharmaceutical free like 2 years ago, and that that was just for my thyroid. So
Yeah.
people need to wake up when it comes to the pharmakia. The pharmaceuticals are dangerous.
Yeah.
As
It could
well as
be something to do with that too, really. I
well,
mean,
yeah, I mean
medically,
that's
they've been trained to do
part
that.
of it.
Yeah.
The child's already going through hormone changes, which causes a lot of like chaos in the mind. We're already not thinking
Puberty.
straight. An adult's really not an adult until like the age of 25 or 26. This is why the insurance
Right.
rates lower at that time.
Yeah.
But it's just very detrimental. And yeah, Story Works,
Yeah,
it is shameful of what they're
Yeah, it
doing
is shameful.
to our youth,
Mhm.
including your daughter as well. That this
Yeah.
not
They're-
excluded from
they're-
this conversation of what's all been going on with her, and I'm sure it's happened to many others. It's just a lot of other people are not speaking out.
Yes.
You're actually speaking up,
Right.
speaking out. I see a video here where you're at a public hearing, and you have an open letter, which is amazing. The things that you and your husband
This
are
is a
doing.
horrible story, though, and you're saying this is happening to a lot of people, right,
Yes.
Alexandra?
Trust me.
Tons
Trust me. Yes.
across
Yeah.
the country. Across the country.
Colorado, Virginia, Washington, Tennessee, Texas. Did you see this guy in Tennessee? What he is just blurting? It's this. Listen, this is satanic because
Mhm.
they, this would never happen if there were not Sagers, Nelsons, Horans, Bigelow.
Yeah, it starts
Because
with those.
look how they're satanically profiteering from the most vulnerable and toughest period of time when I mean, I'm addressing a teenager. You are already
Right,
not
puberty.
a child, but you are not an adult. There's a volcano, sinusoid of hormones. You're looking for yourself. So I told her when she was trying to process me before she tried to process daddy, to get him to sign testosterone. It was April 2024. And I didn't have to be this cool $700 an hour forensic psychiatry. Psychiatrists who did forensic for us. Oh, he charges 900. Who testified in our case. Bigelow couldn't care less. So I don't have to be the San Francisco cool psychiatrist to tell her back in April that, baby, you have from your trauma that you went through in Massachusetts, you have a self-rejection. I knew it. And you're running away from yourself. You're looking for yourself. Just steady your horses. Just wait. But no, there are regiments. There are army of people with dollars in their eyes. And I'm writing about them in Substack. Who would ever think? Tim, who would ever think that I am a 44 post-Soviet citizen-year-old woman will fly to New Hampshire to testify, to ask about the bill, for the parents to ask permission to raise their child according to their biological sex?
Wow.
Yeah,
What?
well, that should not be a
21st
question.
century. We have sensory LSD, we have sensory, we have phones, we have AI, we liven up videos, we can do movies by ourselves. And we got so regressed.
Yep.
So there's a comment here saying the idea of self-mutilation is not new. We knew about that cult and did not expect to see that barbaric practices in the US.
Yes. Eugenics. It's eugenics, and I also wrote about it. My husband is very keen on all these cults. We also went on Buck Angel's podcast with him, and I did alone. So I urge you, again, it's on my Substack. There was a Russian Empire cult called Skoptsy, when basically the Russian Empire urged the same thing. They just do eunuchs, they do the mutilation. So it's not new, and the Hitler inspired Nazi did that, and lobotomy watched the movie Flying Over the Cuckoo Nest. So nothing is new under the sun. But we are here, and we will not stop. We know the history lesson well. We learned it very well.
I like it.
I want to play that video. I want to play that video where you testified over in New Hampshire.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, yeah,
Nurse.
do that.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished members, my name is Alexadra Lyashchenko. I'm a Ukrainian Orthodox Christian mother who fled Soviet-style control with my husband in 2007 for America Promise for Freedom. We built life here. Our daughter was born in Kiev. In June 2024, California Shasta County CPS seized our 15-year-old virgin daughter, not for abuse or neglect, but solely because we refused to affirm her sudden desire to transition. There were no early signs for gender confusion. She was a happy, hyperactive, but bullied girl in Massachusetts until she went through severe bullying in school by teachers and peers, unaddressed. We fled harassment in 2021, moving to Redding, California, Shasta County. In 2022, amid Ukraine aid work, she struggled socially, turned to Discord app, and self-diagnosed multiple mental disorders. A 2023 well child visit led to psychiatrist Dr. Sager, who self-referred her to Children's Legacy Center NGO. They pushed trans ideology, heavy psychotropics, and online grooming via allegedly online predator on Discord. She cut her hair. She called her a male name since February 2024. I didn't know about it. My daughter bound her breast, demanded testosterone. We accommodated everything to reasonable limits. We changed our language, but we said no to hormones. On May 29, 2024, Dr. Sager called CPS. June 3rd, a stranger in black midi dress without warrant or police took her. Our 15-year-old virgin was placed with glitter foster parents who roomed her virgin with their son to share a bunk bed with her, underfed her, gave her birth control, pushed trans ideology, blocked our contact, and coached her to testify against us. We are fit parents. We secured expert care and spent $480,000 on lawyers and residential treatment, BNI treatment centers in South California. On February 3rd, 2025, the dependency judge Bigelow dismissed every allegation of emotional abuse. Still, they kept us in khaki Children's Abuse Emotional Index with no prior cause and no investigation. They took her just like that. We were forced out of California. Our younger son misses his home. Prolonged separation worsened our daughter's borderline personality disorder, among others, and turned her against us. This violates Welfare and Institution Code 300 and 361, requiring clear and convincing evidence of substantial danger. It erases parental rights protected by Wisconsin versus Yoder and Troxel versus Granville. Thank you for the mentioning of Mirabella case, a huge win. No investigation, no proof, only ideology. We support this bill because it stops CPS from removing children from loving, non-affirming parents like ourselves without proven abuse. It demands clear and convincing evidence, bans ideology-based removals, and restores parental rights over medical decisions. The HHS reports confirm that both of them. No reliable evidence supports sex-rejecting interventions for minors. We cannot repeat Soviet, Nazi or Nuremberg-era family destruction and medical experiments on the vulnerable. No parent should beg the state to return their child for refusing irreversible harm. Thank you. I'm ready for your questions.
That was
Seeing no
great.
questions, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That
so
was
they had no
good.
questions. Wow, I guess you hit them.
Well, that
pretty
is
good.
odd. That part's odd. But I would focus on the fact that they're taking a child and putting her in a different environment, and now suddenly she's getting a pregnancy test, in which you can see, you have medical evidence of that from the LabCorp or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, so the medical stuff that they're trying to keep from you now, you're still paying because she's still on your medical insurance, right?
It's interesting. Yes, you are not entitled to know anything, but you're supposed to pay co-pays and there's some kind of fraud we're sniffing because they
I think so.
sensed we could track it, and they actually double insure her, which is basically illegal. Even in California, I tried to
Yeah, I
make
do too.
complaints, but nobody even reached back to me. So basically, I have some emails, and I shared them, by the way, in my Substack when I spoke about Mandy Moore, the supervisor that actually she was responding back and forth. They are not returning some money that we paid for this rehab. We tried to get our daughter, from the detrimental glitter foster care. We paid almost $300,000 with our private insurance. So they still haven't gotten our even the, how to say, the money that you pay up front, the deductible.
The copay, deductible.
Yeah, 7,500. But they swore they would. So they use partnership. They use medical, just for us not to be able to track what they stuff her
what's
with,
happening,
where they bring her. Because I want to red flag one thing. When Sager filed the referral to CPS, when my daughter was taken June 3rd, I had some delivered service logs from CPS. I think I shared them. So she filed a referral to gender affirming care. The following day, my daughter was taken. It's Stonewall Alliance in Chico, California. So my daughter was taken. I don't know why. I don't know who, why, and what for. So it's a lot of fraud. And of course, I was trying to get to Shirley and to Steve Hilton and to Chad Bianco. They've been ignoring me. I'm a little mom from the street. So also Marie Harabiel contacted me, but she stopped talking to me. A lot of other, gubernatorial candidates. The people come with their agenda, but nobody really takes our case seriously because the county has their finger in the pie, because the supervisors are basically roofing the same thing. And I saw a lot of threats coming to me. Shut down Moms for Liberty Shasta chapter. They was yelling at me, and they were sending messengers in my DMs, just shut down your Substack, your libeling. I'm like, well, I can't prove anything. Let's meet in court. So it's how these people act. They don't help, but then they just show teeth and say, you're bad because you speak about it.
Well, tell us a little bit more about this letter that you have for the First Lady, as well as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I do have a short video to play. Would you like me to play that right now?
It's 9 minutes, but it's very spectacular. You can play a little bit. You will just be able to demonstrate how seriously parents are hurt and how they take it. It's a beautiful video. I'm proud of it.
Okay, I'll show a few minutes of it, and then
thank you. Thank you.
We'll talk a little bit about this open letter you have, and then we'll wrap up after that.
In the United States, over 400,000 children are in foster care system right now. Studies show that foster care alumni are among the most trafficked population in this country. Up to 85% of sex trafficked victims have prior child welfare system involvement. We are 22 families. We have lived inside this system. We have watched courts remove children from safe, loving homes and place them in dangerous ones. We have watched the system that was supposed to protect our children become the pipeline that has endangered them. Mrs. Trump, Mr. Kennedy, you have both spoken about protecting children, about a home for every child. And we're here to tell you, the family court system is standing in the way of that promise. This is our letter to you.
Open letter from concerned parents to First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Dear First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary Kennedy, we thank you for your dedication to protecting America's children and advancing child welfare.
We come to you as parents from across New York, Texas, Florida, California, Alaska, Washington, Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, and all across the country with direct experience in the foster care and child protective service systems.
We strongly oppose the ACF's $7 million performance-based rewards for states with the best foster ratios and the Fostering the Future Act.
The initiatives create dangerous incentives that prioritize child removal over family preservation.
Federal Title 4E funding already reimburses states $4,000 to $33,000 per child per year, plus adoption bonuses, expanding the system at the expense of families.
Annually, there are 4.3 to 4.7 million CPS reports, with 80 to 84% unsubstantiated.
Removals break down as neglect 55%, often poverty related, drug abuse 31%, physical abuse 13%.
70 to 95 emergency removals occur without prior court hearing.
Only approximately 45% of children reunify with parents. Many lose rights within 12 to 15 months.
Investigations occur 5 times higher in low-income families than in other populations.
In the U.S., 4.4 million referrals, 2.1 million screened in, 329,000 in care, 46,935 adopted, 15,379 aged out in the fiscal year 2024.
Wow, I'm going to go ahead and end it right there as far as the video. I went ahead and I put the link into the chat where everyone can find that video on Facebook, and I'll put that in the show description later. I used to work in foster care. I was 19 years old when I worked in foster care. And I was blessed by working in some good foster with some good foster families. I was a respite care worker, which is a fancy word for a babysitter. And that's why I'm a mandated child abuse reporter. One of the 2 reasons I am, a mandated child abuse reporter in the state of California. I heard about some nightmare stories as such. And a good friend of mine used to work for group homes, and I heard some nightmare situations, with the drug abused families, children being in group homes, and it's still ongoing. It's as we saw in some of that video there. So that open letter, I went ahead and I put that link into the chat. It comes out of a Google Drive. It's people need to download this, print it, sign it. There's also a QR code. Let me see if I can bring that up on screen. There's a QR code right there. This is page 2 of this open letter. I believe the address is on there. Mail that in, get it out there to our First Lady and to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Pretty much liberty-driven thing. You are welcome to. It's just to show that we care and we are opposing it, because how wrong it is to be financing it in the midst of what the parents have been going and with this indoctrination and what we have been talking about with my husband, every single day after in this plight, that CPS and transgender found a perfect bubble, right, to do this. But we are aware of anti-vax, right, and autism, and remember the COVID times. So they don't care the reason they can come and snatch your kids for. So we have got to nip this in the bud, because if they lose the dollar, they won't come for children. And if Melania doesn't reconsider, this will be disastrous. This is feeding the monster.
It's always better to keep a child in home.
So the child grooming, the talking the child into this stuff is mental mutilation, along with the antidepressants, more mental mutilation. This is my own opinion. Again, I'm not a doctor. And then they want to do the physical bodily mutilation, and this is all being done by the social services, by the courts, by psychiatrists that shouldn't even be practicing. In my opinion, they shouldn't be practicing. We need to put a hard stop to this to protect our children and protect our future.
That's why I'm here. That's why these parents, I provided them letter. I didn't even know they would be doing this, but when they announced they would be doing this, I was so warmed and blessed, and I'm so grateful that we've been doing it. So we need to share it as far and wide as we can. We need to put a stop on this until it's too late, because they're after our children.
It's true. And it
So
only
ladies-
takes one person. There could be zero proof, one phone call, and they can come into your home just like that, and they can take your kid just like that.
One
And it
call
could be
does it
completely
all.
false.
Yeah.
Right. It's unfair.
So,
I don't
ladies and
understand
gentlemen, if you're seeing this video, get out there and share it. Share these links.
Please.
Share that open letter. You download it, mail it out. You sign it, mail it out. Make things happen. Not just for the better of Alexandra and her daughter, but for the better sake of our future generations. Our children, our grandchildren.
Bring to your representatives, state, congressmen, to whoever it will be passed on to Secretary Kennedy and Melania. It's, you can mail it to her. You can go to White House. You can go to Capitol. It doesn't matter. It's your own choice. Your child.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It should be like that. Yes.
Yeah. Take control of your parental rights.
Yeah.
For somebody else to take that from you, it's not right.
Or they will.
I'm glad you're sharing it with us today, so we can speak out and bring light to the situation too, because it's unfair.
Alexandra, my heart goes out to you as well as your husband.
Thank you, darlings. Thank you, both of you. Love you. Thank you.
My stomach just hurts after you. Every time I hear you say your virgin daughter went in and she's no longer.
I know. I start to cry.
That just wrenches my stomach. I'm just like.
I know. It's terrible. It's the doctors. I mean, the whole thing is terrible.
Yeah.
All the way down the line. It's just so unfair. Yes.
Share my story. Connect me to any other media, influencers, activists, representatives, anybody. This is children and this is sacred.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, find this at Tim Holliday TV. That's TIMHOLLIDAY TV. Share this out. Get this out to everybody that you know to let the story be heard. And I'll definitely update the show description where you can definitely follow Alexandra on her Substack. All the information's there. So just go ahead and just plug in your email address and say sign up, and you can get all the information about her case on there. Not just to help her save her and her husband save their daughter, but to save other future generations.
Oh my God, yes.
Be sure to join in on next Tuesday. Matt and myself, we always have something good up our sleeve. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, be well and God bless.
God bless.